Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday, everybody. We got a long day here until this Ravens game. So I just cannot stop thinking about the matchup tonight, all the different playoff scenarios. It's just a lot's going to happen here before the Ravens game starts. But regardless, the Ravens are going to be in the position tonight when they face the Patriots, still control their own destiny. So 4 months of just pure chaos, it feels like here with the Ravens, up and down to now a team that's pretty healthy. They lose Buchanan last week, but besides that, everybody's ready to go. The team feels like if we're going to peak, now's the time. We haven't really peaked since, I guess, the midway through the third quarter against Buffalo to start the season. So it feels like it's on the table tonight. We're favored by 3, home against the Patriots. And this Patriots team, the reason I feel good about the game tonight is it's really hard to lose a game the way the Patriots did last week and then bounce right back and win. It feels like a game where, that they lost to Buffalo. It's going to cost them 2 games. On the flip, I would feel really strongly about the Patriots going to the Super Bowl if they win this game tonight. It would be an amazing bounce back for them because last week's game, they had everything in front of them. It's 21-0. They're going to win the division. They have the inside track to the 1 seed. All things are going, according to plan for them. And then to lose like that and now have to play at Baltimore Sunday night with a Ravens team that's desperate. They have to win this game. They don't want to put themselves in a position where they have to beat the Packers, even though that's still on the table, depending on what happens in the Steelers game this afternoon. But it just feels like, man, you're going to get the best version of the Ravens tonight. I think the Ravens should win. I think the key to beating New England is make them in 3rd and long. It's like that probably with every team, but especially the Patriots. They thrive on being ahead of schedule and doing the play action. Josh McDaniels draws up great plays, but they don't have the weapons. They certainly don't have anybody that commands too much attention on a deep threat, although Drake May throws a great deep ball. 3rd and 6 or more tonight, and the Ravens' defense should cook. Kyle Hamilton should play, and, she's just impossible to game plan for. I think he'll shine tonight. And the Ravens, they just got to protect the football. Patriots are banged up on defense. They're missing 2 key guys, Milton Williams and then Robert Spillane. The Ravens got to win this game tonight. They really do. So looking forward to the game. I feel pretty good about it. That's going to start here, about 12 and a half hours? So we got plenty of football before that. Quick recap from the games yesterday, and then I'll go through the games today and give you my picks. Yesterday, the Eagles, they dominated the Commanders, so they're going to win the division. They're going to get the 2 seed or the 3 seed, depending on how things shape out there in the NFC North. And they're in prime position to repeat. Nobody looks dominant. Nobody looks, frankly, better than the Eagles look when the Eagles play their best. So a good win for them yesterday, albeit against the Commanders team that, it's been the year for hell for them. So Eagles play the Bills next week. That'll be a fantastic game. Then they get to finish with the Commanders. So if Philly wins that game, I don't know. Even if they don't win that game, but they look pretty good to me, I'm leaning towards picking the Eagles here to win the NFC. I'm having a hard time falling in love with any other team. So speaking of which, the game last night, a classic game. The Bears come back to beat the Packers in what can only be described as like a complete meltdown there from the Packers. They had the Bears dead to rights. The game should be over. They screw up the onside kick. Caleb makes an amazing drive and then makes an amazing throw in overtime to beat the Packers. Packers lose Love to a concussion. Then Malik Willis looks good. I mean, he looked good last year. He looked good now. Felt like, man, the Packers are just putting this thing together. And now you have to ask yourself if the Bears are the team of destiny here in the NFC. But depending on how this Lions game plays out today against Pittsburgh, the Packers or the Bears they're nowhere near guaranteeing themselves a playoff spot. They both have tough games remaining. The Packers got to play the Ravens, and they got to play at Minnesota to finish the season. Neither of which is a win, right? Guaranteed. And then the Bears got to play the 49ers on the road, and then they finish at home with the Lions. And the Lions have the tiebreaker with the Bears. So if the Bears lose next week to the Niners, and the Packers win one of these games, and or the Packers win both of their games, and then the Lions win out, the Bears still don't make the playoffs. So there's nothing's guaranteed after yesterday, but it put into perspective like the Packers probably aren't winning the Super Bowl this year. That was the number one thing. If the Packers won that game, it's like, man, maybe the Packers can win the NFC. Now it's like they're just so banged up. They're gonna have a hard time winning the division at this point. And you got to reconsider the Bears because I don't know if anybody has them as a Super Bowl contender. But when you just keep winning every single game, there's something about that that's gotta count for something. I'd love to see how they play against the 49ers next week on Sunday Night Football. And then, like I said, the Lions are still lurking. So we shall see how the NFC North finishes up. Great night last night, though, if you watched the game. College football games were what they were. What a stupid idea this tournament is. No one's hyped for the games. People probably forget that the games are on. I don't know. It's just not a great build-up. Oregon destroys James Madison, but they don't cover. Tulane gets destroyed by Ole Miss. The Miami A&M game was a great game if you just like old school football and not a lot of points. The Alabama-Oklahoma game was pretty good on Friday night, but there's just no build-up for that. Like they don't play Friday night football like that. So you haven't trained me to be excited for, SEC college football on Friday night. And now it's just a tough ask. Games didn't have a lot of juice to them. Next week should have some more juice because they're on New Year's. But anyway, all right, let's go through these games. I got 4 picks today, 3 of which are going to be totals, which I really don't do very often, but that's how I feel today. I got 3 totals and then one side. Go through the games first that I'm not playing. The Jets and the Saints. These games, the reason I don't play these games is because I have no idea what every incentive is for every player and coach and general manager, whether or not they're trying to win these games. There's actual financial incentives on the line, depending on season-long different things. Who knows? But when you have teams that can't make the playoffs, and I don't have a great feel, especially 3 weeks away, maybe when it's the last week of the season, it's easier to have an opinion, but I don't know. Christmas is coming up. I can't figure out why the Saints are favored by 6.5 points. Feels like everybody's going to be favored by a lot of points against the Jets because the Jets are terrible. Jags beat them by 100 last week. If you're betting it, I guess you're betting the Saints because you don't want to bet the Jets. But the Saints just don't score very many points. They did beat Carolina last week, and what a great win for them, for the new coach. I'd favor the Saints, but I'm not betting it. Not betting the Vikings-Giants. I guess I'd favor the Giants just because the Vikings got to go on the road outside, and I don't trust them yet. And the spread seems weird. Giants are getting 2.5 points. Figured that the Vikings might be favored by 4 or 5 points, but they're not. And it's just 2 quarterbacks that are just starting out. Volatility should be the word in this game. Anything could happen. Fumbles, interceptions. McCarthy versus Dart. I don't know. Just staying away from that game. Vikings and the Giants, and really the same vibe for the Chiefs Titans. 2 teams that just aren't going anywhere. Chiefs are only favored by 3 on the road. Crazy to think about that. Only 3-point favorite against this terrible Titans team. But the Chiefs just can't score any points. I mean, the total is 37.5. Yeah, Gardner Minshew would like to, stay in the NFL. I'm sure he'll be motivated, and the Titans will be motivated as, they got the rookie quarterback. I guess they'll be motivated as I'm saying that out loud. Who knows? Who knows on that game? That's why I'm not betting it. Chiefs Titans, staying away from it. And the Bengals Dolphins. I mean, who the hell is betting this game? The Bengals are favored by 4.5. Quinn Ewers is the quarterback. Can't stand Quinn Ewers. I think he's not very good at all. But I trust, McDaniel and Miami's offense to scheme against this terrible Bengals defense. And then I would think the Bengals offense is got to be pissed off after what happened last week. So the Ravens shut him out. Burrow should play better, but who knows? So stay away from that one. Bengals favored by 4.5. I would lean Dolphins, but yeah, I'm going to stay away from that. And then Chargers Cowboys. I went back and forth. I wanted to take Chargers, but they just really don't match up well here against the Cowboys. The Cowboys have nothing to play for. So you would think the Chargers with the right play, but the Chargers are so banged up. They've just had a couple emotional games back to back. And like I said, they really don't match up great against the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys, the Chargers have a great pass defense, but they haven't played the type of offense the Cowboys are going to have. I would lean towards the over in this game. Feels like it should go back and forth, but ultimately, I just didn't have a great feel for it. I want to see how the Chargers play. And I think the Cowboys are dead, but the spread kind of makes me feel like maybe they're not. I would have thought Chargers would be favored by 2.5. Instead, Cowboys are favored. So I shall stay away from that game. Those are the 1 o'clocks I'm staying away. Two games I like. I like Buffalo, Cleveland to go over. So the total is 41.5. I just think Shador is good for 20 points one way or the other, whether he hits a couple long passes or he throws a couple interceptions or fumbles that leads to touchdowns for Buffalo. And I just think the Bills offense, and not that thing, I know they're rolling. I'm surprised the total is 41.5. I know maybe the metrics suggest, statistics might suggest that, but the Browns defense is not playing great as of late. And the Bills offense was so good in the second half. I think that carries over. I think the Bills play well today. And if they don't play well today, it's not going to be because of Josh Allen. I think they'll score. And 41.5 just, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a lot. And then the worst case scenario is if the Bills don't score, it's probably because they turn the ball over a few times, which leads to Browns touchdowns. So if it is an upset, I think it's like a 27-20 upset that the Browns would win. I shall go over Bills Browns 41.5. And then the other 1 o'clock game, I'm going to go over Bucks Panthers 45.5. And I'm going to take the Panthers. So I got two bets in that game. I got Panthers +3, and I got over 45.5. And it's fairly simple here. The Panthers, I think, enjoy their team. I think they play, they're an up and down team, but they like each other. They're right about where they thought they could be this year, 500, with a chance to maybe make the playoffs if things go the right way. And the Bucks are just free falling. What happened on Thursday night was terrible. That was supposed to be their bounce back last Thursday night. That is. That was supposed to be the bounce back. They just let the Falcons. I mean, not only did they not cover, but then the Falcons come back and win the game. It's really bad signs pointing for the Bucks. Coach is mad at the players. Players are playing great. Players just might not be that great. Bucks might be overvalued. Surprised they're even the favorite here. I know they're favored, primarily because everybody took the Panthers, including me last week, and they blew it against the Saints. Looking back on it, the ball just didn't bounce their way at the end. And frankly, they're up 17-7. They took their foot off the gas. I don't think they'll make that mistake here. I think this game is just a wild game. I think the Panthers are going to score a bunch. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Bucks are able to get into the 20s themselves. So over 45.5 seems like the right play. It's going to be a great environment, basically a playoff game. The Bucks own some tiebreakers here. So the Panthers, they got to win this game. And they probably got to win week 18, assuming the Bucks beat the Dolphins. So the Panthers play the Seahawks next week. It's a tough game. Anyway, the tiebreakers work out in the Bucks' advantage. I have a feeling the Panthers are going to win this game, and if they don't, I think the 3 points are going to be helpful. I think it comes down to the very end, and I'll go over 45.5. So that's what I got for the 1 o'clock games. 4 o'clock, staying away from the Falcons Cardinals. God, are there some bad games today? Falcons Cardinals don't deserve too much of analysis. Good luck. I don't really have much for you. The Kirk Cousins situation is fascinating as he tries to stay employed. I imagine he'll play pretty well, but it's also Kirk Cousins, and he could just be finished. They did beat the Cardinals last week, they beat the Bucks last week. The Falcons did. They should be in a good mood, but who knows? The Arizona Cardinals are a weird team. I don't really like betting on any of their games. They get killed at home routinely. Yeah, the more I think about it, I would lean Falcons, but who knows? Cardinals probably win that game because nobody will take them. So that's my thoughts on that one. Steelers Lions is the game I'm staying away from. Big number. Really surprised the Lions are 7-point favorites. Figured to be closer to 5. I guess the vibe is the Steelers offense just isn't good. They're efficient. They had their best game the past couple of weeks here. They're just moving the ball now. Rodgers feels good. They're going to play in a dome. He's played there a million times. I am surprised that the spread's the way it is. I just really like the Lions. I think the Lions I feel like they're going to sneak into the playoffs. Like if they win this game, they're going to play the Vikings next week, and then they get the Bears at home. they're going to win both those games if they win today. Could they get tripped up today? I think they could. I think it's one of those games where the Lions' offensive line better block. The Steelers are going to be excited to play indoors, good weather. And yeah, this game is a tricky game. Ravens need the Steelers to lose this game. I'll definitely root for the Lions, but I can't bet on them. Feels like it might be a tight game, so I'll stay away from it. But I do like this Jags Broncos game to go under. I might take the Broncos the more I think about it, but I don't know. I think the Jags are playing so well, and I just need to stay away from Jacksonville and see them lose or wait till the playoffs. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Can't bet the Jags. Just gotta bet against them. Just stay away from the Jags altogether. But the under feels like the right play. 46 and a half. Too many points in what's going to be a playoff game. Both teams they don't really trust the quarterback. They say nice things about their quarterback, but they prefer to run the football. They prefer to play defense. Sean Payton and what's his face, Liam Cohen, they're going to go for a lot of fourth downs. So if the defense can hold up here on both sides, she gets some turnovers on downs. It just feels like way too many points. I know the Broncos put up a lot of points in certain situations. This just feels like if it goes over, it's because of overtime and some late fourth quarter scores. I do like the under today. I might take the under for the first half to go with that. So yeah, Broncos, Jags, I got going under. I got the Bills and the Browns going over. I got the Bucks and the Panthers going over, and I like the Panthers plus 3 points. And tonight, I do like the Ravens. I won't bet it because that just goes against my Lamar Jackson betting. Won't do it, can't do it, just have to watch. I think Lamar should play good tonight. Everybody's watching. Nobody believes in him nationally at this point. Out of the MVP conversation. We're out of every national conversation. So it feels like a great spot for Lamar to have a great game, and the Patriots might need to lose another game here before they right the ship for the playoff run. So that's my thoughts. Good luck on your bets. Feel free to shoot me a message. And yeah, that's that. All right. Have a good day. I shall be here in the morning. And yeah, good luck.